According to my calendar, it's the 3rd of October 2025 today, and we've only got a few more days before our trip is over and we have to head home. We still have some empty slots in our wildlife list and we're heading to good locations to see the missing animals. Today we say goodbye to Boteti River and head back to Maun to get fuel, stock up on water and head to the Toyota dealer to get a quote to replace the side mirror. I know where to find the spare parts office now. Our end destination for the day is the village of Mababe and the lodge there. From where we are, we have to go back through Maun to get there. There's no more direct route. I'm a bit worried because it's only 130 kilometres from Maun to Mababe, but our route instructions and Google Maps both say it's going to take over 4 hours. I think the Hilux might earn its keep on this stretch. So what's the attraction at Mababe? It's close to the Okavango Delta, but more importantly, it's located at the point where the Kwai River flows into the Savuti Marsh, which is another important outlier of the Okavango. Okay, Friday the 3rd of October, and we're just on our way up to breakfast. Today's agenda is that we close the loop back into Maun and then head off on a spur to our last two destinations, which are Mababe and Kwai. And the trip's drawing to a close and it's a bit sad, but as we were discussing in the car yesterday, if these trips didn't have to end, they wouldn't be special if you did it all the time. From Boteti River Lodge back to Motopi is 70 kilometres, and then from Motopi to Maun is about 85 kilometres, so it's an easy run for the morning. We should only be an hour or two in Maun and then we'll head up to Mababe. We get to Mababe, which is not very far north of Maun, and the sealed road ends. The road has been getting worse with more and more potholes, but now we get to see why this is scheduled to be over 4 hours for 130 kilometres. From Mababe to the Maun quarantine checkpoint is 20 kilometres of the worst road I've ever experienced. We already dropped the tyre pressures and over this stretch you need it. It's deep sand, rocks and about 6 times the width of a normal road as people try to find a way along the edge. At some points the Hilux is skating along on its belly, scrabbling for grip, so you have to keep up your momentum. At the same time you have to keep an eye out for the rock patches so you don't crash over those at high speed. The video does it no justice.
I'm not very good gimbal.
Not sure how much the gimbal can fix this. You can tell it's the old guy in charge of the video again because I'm doing it in landscape mode. So we've come about 40 k's up this road, which is probably the worst road I've ever driven on, considering this isn't a bush track. This is sort of like the main road, very bumpy and sandy, and we've just come to this junction, so we've got to head to the right here, and we've got what, 50 k's to go?
Yeah, 58, 60 k's.
Okay, and I need a gin and tonic with Okavango gin when we get there. From the quarantine station to Mababe, the road is much better. Still slow because it's very cut up and lumpy from when it floods in the wet season. There are a couple of stretches of deep sand, including one I don't think we're going to make it through, but we do. Let's find the lodge and get a drink and maybe a late lunch. Right, we've finally made it to Mababe. And that is, one of the hairiest trips I've ever had. And we've just got to go and find the lodge and my gin and tonic. Look at that. There's a really big dust devil there. Don't know if that helps. Yeah, there it is.
No, it's disappearing now.
Yep. So, we arrived at the lodge. We're in the right place. We just had to cross the river. There's actually a little steel bridge there. Across the River Kwai. So we went across the bridge on the River Kwai. And my first impression when we saw our room was, wow, this is really nice. So I just asked if we can get some lunch because it's just past 1 o'clock. And it's hot and dry. I'm just going to get the luggage out of the car and put it in the room. And that looks like a 2-story one. But these are the accommodation units along here. Bit of a montage of our chalet here. The chalets at Mababe have a modern look and as usual they're very comfortable. We ask about lunch, and although the kitchen is technically closed, they rustle us up a much nicer meal than we have any right to expect. And the gin and tonic, yep, followed sometime later by a cider. We while away the afternoon looking at the wildlife in the distance. We booked a safari drive for the next day. It's been a hot, hard day and we're not up to the evening sundowner. Keep getting these dark dust devils out on the plain. Still the wind died right off. Don't know what these are called here. Australia it's a willy willy and these are quite big ones. We get a visit from an evening elephant. It's not easy to get to the area in front of the chalets and it's recommended that you don't go out there. Walking back to your chalet from the restaurant alone in the dark is not recommended either. A staff member will escort you. Animals in general are moving closer. This is a good approximation of a natural view, so if I look over the top of the camera, that's about what I see. So it's pretty close. Speaking of which, dinner is had, chill in the lounge, and then Betty buys. The 4th of October 2025, and another location where we're woken by the rosy dawn. We faff around for a while and then we head up for breakfast. I make sure all the batteries are charged, etc., ready for our morning game drive, which doesn't happen. There's been a misunderstanding and our booking's been lost. All the drives for the day are booked out, so we're just going to chill at the lodge again. We do book a dawn game drive for the next day though. We're going to our next lodge tomorrow, but it's only an hour or so to get there. I hope there are no more mix-ups because I really want to see the Savuti Marsh. I spend the day practicing my bird photography. I'm still trying to get good pictures of these lilac-breasted rollers. Australians will get this. Notice there are no flies on Angela's back. There are hardly any flies. In Australia you would be swamped with them. Let's check what's on for lunch and see if we can get a savannah. And is spent just chilling on our veranda, then off to dinner as the sun sets. The next morning it's up at first light and head down to the safari wagon park. Angela is going to sit this one out. It's surprisingly cold, but it'll heat up as the sun climbs. So, where are we going? The Savuti Marsh is over 10,000 square kilometres, but this dark green end near Mababe is the most consistently watered. We're going for a short drive along the west bank in this area to see what we can see. The guide said there were painted dogs here a few days ago. I hope we can find them again. It doesn't take long before we find some zebra and wildebeest. The sunrise gives us one of those beautiful Botswana dawns. Cape Buffalo.
Jak zobaczysz wszystkie 5, to masz zaliczone safari. Leopard, słoń, i nosorożec. Wie byliśmy? Hello?
Does the Gulu?
We're not far from the lodge. We head along the channel of the Boteti River, which is flowing quite strongly. There's been no rain here. The water comes from the mountains of Angola. We find an animal on our list, a hyena. I thought it was strange that it was on its own, but it's pretty common.
It's so fun. There's at least one here. It's not 3 weeks worth at least.
Great. That's good.
This one hyena on its own, and can't see what the rest are.
Wow. That's amazing.
Hyenas, they're scavengers, eh?
Yeah.
Only they just go for the dead things, eh? Yeah, so
It is on its own. They're not normally on their own, or they're normally in a group.
you mean the hyena?
Yeah.
Yeah, sometimes you can just see them in a group,
Yeah.
or moving alone, especially the male ones. Eh?
Ah,
They just prefer to move alone. Eh?
okay.
Yeah. I think this is the male one. Eh? Yeah. Okay, ready to go?
Yes.
Some pumbas.
Yeah, small little.
C'est vraiment
Comme le
moins dommage que sur le camp. Je sais pas.
This is our first glimpse of the Savudi Marsh itself. It's huge.
Here's something.
The hippos pushing through these channels keeps them open.
Wetland here.
Yeah, but the one over here is getting up. This one you can see more. And this one over here. Pardon.
Non, 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 c'est aucun problème.
Try to position my gate.
Oh, the water over there.
Yeah.
Smell.
No, I'm not going to take any pictures. Nice to watch them.
Yeah.
Ah, c'est chouette.
Thirsty.
course there are elephants here.
I've seen enough elephants on the street.
Here they're going now. Inside it. Il va sentir. Avec sa tête. Je te laisse prendre, bébé.
There's only one donkey, one baby. It should be okay.
Ah, baby. Painful.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah. Oh, poor.
Yeah, until it.
A baby jackal outside the den.
Dommage que je vois pas sa tête.
Ouais.
Hein
Oui, ah ouais, c'est...
Et il faut...
Then you did it on purpose, so it moves. Quick.
Oh, chop down.
We stopped for breakfast and a leg stretch alongside the marsh.
Mababe.
The water is quite high, but it floods much higher than this.
Okavango Delta. We're going to be shifting closer to the delta itself this afternoon when we go up to Kwai. But even this wetland's really quite big.
A lilac-breasted roller teases me. The camera doesn't show the iridescence of its feathers.
Get photos off. We have a secretary bed. This is only the second one I've ever seen, and at least it's closer and out in the open.
Oh,
First time you see that one.
Somebody
It has trousers on.
once called these eagles on stilts. These are specialist snake hunters.
Uh-huh.
Check out those long legs. Time to head back, but we're not finished yet. These lions are just relaxing in the grass and quite near the lodge. There are about 6 of them, but the rest are in the grass and hard to see.
Wow.
They find a vantage point to check out for any available lunch. Time's up. We leave them to their business and head back to the lodge. Time for us to hit the road to Kwai. After our game drive, we're heading off to our last Okavango destination, the village of Kwai and the Kwai guest house. It's only 37 kilometres, but we need to allow an hour and a half to get there. I suspect the road is going to be like the lumpy road from the Moana quarantine checkpoint. I hope it's not a Shirobi nightmare. We're going to find out real fast. So join us in the next episode when we wend our way from Mababe to Kwai and a second game drive in the same day. Until then, keep safe and we'll see you at the edge of the Okavango as we follow the river to Kwai village.